"Leave me alone," came the cry of my youngest son from the room he shared with his brother. "You are a..." He cried again so loudly that I instantly remembered all the neighbors in our apartment building. But before he even finished the sentence, there was a long sigh which, at the moment, I wasn't sure if it had been his or my reaction. "Why are you yelling at your brother?" I asked him as I rushed to the room. "Because I'm ticked off," he answered me quickly and without any remorse. "And what would you say when you started to compliment him?" I asked him, ready to teach him a good lesson. "What you said to him yesterday when you rebuked him because he hit the car with the ball," he replied, rather annoyed. His remark made me forget the discipline lesson I intended to give him. I repressed the words that might have been useful if, just the day before, I would have shown more self-control. Because you are a parent, you know how disobedience, disrespect, defiance, or hitting small siblings can bring out the worst in you. In the next few minutes, I want to suggest to you an approach based on the responsibility that we as parents have to set as a personal example. First of all, it is fundamental to understand that you are the hero. You are the Prince Charming of your child's story. You are the first superstar that they imitate. So let me tell you how you can defeat the dragon. Number one, be aware of what triggers their lack of self-control. When your child is small, you can often lose your temper because of the idealistic expectations you have, or because you didn't explain them as clearly as you could. So you need to make sure that what you ask your child is something according to their age and level of understanding. Secondly, choose a word or an image to help you remember to slow down. For instance, choose something you can repeat in your mind which can help you get the negative emotions on hold for the moment. Number three, time out plus a cup of tea. When the situation is so overwhelming that you feel like you're going to give up, keep in mind that it is better to take a short break, perhaps 10 to 20 minutes, until you calm down some, instead of saying or doing something you will regret later. The cup of tea is not only a small treat for you, but it also gives you the time to slow down and rethink the strategy. Number four, respect his or her dignity. Children who are often exposed to being yelled at in an attempt to force them to do something develop an immunity to such demonstrations. You may be teaching them to become rebellious, disrespectful, or simply ignore you. Instead, you would be wiser if you and your spouse repeat the expectations and rules for them, even if it is for the 100th time. You will be more likely to create an environment in which self-control is valued and recognized. Number five, be vulnerable. Perhaps your child's lack of self-control is the result of an accumulation of challenges and problems throughout the day, as is often the case even with us adults. That's why I advise you to express your disappointments by verbalizing your own experiences. But it's important to point out that what makes you sad is your child's behavior. Under no circumstances should you tell your child you consider them to be evil, bad, or rebellious. If you build a close relationship with him, your child will learn self-control himself, not so much because he has come to understand it, but because he knows he enjoys your love for him. Number six, recognize the reality. Nobody's perfect. You're not perfect. That's why it's better to communicate than to assume a dominant, dictatorial position toward them. Your own self-control is one of the most important elements of your child's happiness. If you lose it, he or she cannot learn anything constructive. If you don't exercise self-control, the emotional stability of today's child and the adult of tomorrow is significantly affected. He will grow up thinking that it is absolutely normal to lose control when the situation becomes overwhelming. And over time, he or she won't be able to resist peer pressure or situations when he or she may be put down or criticized, which may lead to poor quality of interactions with others. Don't forget, your example of self-control is the one thing that can make their life easier. For in the end, it is your responsibility and your efforts will be rewarded. If you have a question that wasn't addressed, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the little bell below. See you next time.